Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. Recently on the channel I have reviewed the Kellar's Keep and Return of the Witchlord quest packs for Hasbro's 2021 re-implementation of HeroQuest. Today I just wanted to do a quick follow-up to those videos, answering a question which I've seen crop up from time to time. That question is, if I have the original copy of HeroQuest, can I use Hasbro's new editions of the expansions with my original copy? And the answer to that is kinda yes and kinda no, with additional provisos based on where you are in the world. The first and most obvious thing to consider is Hasbro's edition of HeroQuest is based on the US edition of the rules. If the copy of HeroQuest you have is the European edition, the rules are very different, and as a result, the expansion quests are very different. The US versions of the quests have different layouts, different numbers of monsters that are much tougher, additional items, and enemies that can make use of dread spells. It's certainly not going to stop you playing and enjoying the missions, but it is something to be aware of. The versions of the missions in these quest expansions are not the same as the versions in the old European editions. The other thing to be aware of is that Hasbro upscaled the size of everything for the new edition. The original HeroQuest board has squares that measure about 7/8 of an inch, but Hasbro upscaled them to true 1-inch squares. And as a result, everything else got a little bit bigger as well. The miniatures did, and also the tokens. And that means if you are using new Hasbro elements on an old HeroQuest board, things will overhang the edges of the squares slightly. For example, here we have a mummy on a 1-inch diameter base. If we place him on our old HeroQuest board, you can see there is just a little overhang in all directions. One miniature on one square, that's not such a problem, but if you have to line up miniatures across the whole width of that room, it is going to gradually add up and push things out of alignment. Of course, it also means the miniatures are ever so slightly bigger than the original ones, but I don't think it's enough to notice in a lot of cases. And in fact, if anything, the new mummies are actually a little bit smaller than the old ones. The new skeletons are pretty comparable to the old ones, while the zombies are considerably bigger, but then the zombies in the original HeroQuest were pretty small. The difference in styling and scale is probably a little bit more pronounced in the Kellar's Keep expansion, which is the expansion that comes with the green skins, because you can see here the comparison between the original orcs and the new orcs, the original goblins and the new goblins, and of course the biggest change, the femurs compared to the abominations. The abominations are huge in comparison, and obviously the femurs are from Games Workshop's original IP and do not appear in the new Hasbro edition at all. Probably the biggest issue you will face is that all of the new tokens are bigger than the squares on the original HeroQuest board. And even then, in a lot of cases, it's not the worst problem. For example, here we have one of the new secret door tokens. And if we place it on the map there, you can see it is ever so slightly overhanging the grid, but it's not really bad. Here's a mysterious looking token from the Return of the Witchlord expansion. I'm not going to tell you what that's all about, but if you were going to put it in a corridor for any reason, you can see it is slightly overhanging the walls. Return of the Witchlord also comes with some of these double wide tokens. And again, you can see we are slightly spilling out of the squares into the surrounding area. The biggest issue is the room overlays, particularly the ones from Return of the Witchlord. These overlays are designed to fit over the top of rooms that exist on the board already, giving them a different look. And obviously, because they are scaled up to 1 inch, they are significantly larger than the rooms they sit on top of. We position that one up there in the top corner, and you can see there is a significant overhang in all directions. And that's of course because each square on that map tile is 1/8 of an inch bigger than the square on the original map. It starts to add up. The worst example is our large throne room. This is designed to go over that center room, and you can see there is a lot of overhang into the corridor around it. Not enough that it would stop you from playing the game, but I think enough to be annoying. And there we go, I think those are the major things you need to think about if you are planning on purchasing the new expansions to use with your original copy of HeroQuest. Obviously the miniatures are in a slightly different style, they are scaled up to 1-inch bases, the missions are different to the old European ones, and the room overlays and tokens do not fit neatly in the original squares on the board. If you think you can live with those minor issues, it may be worth picking up these expansions, rather than trying to source the original 1990 copies of the expansions on eBay. But that's a decision for you to make. And that's about it from me for now. I appreciate this hasn't been my most exciting video ever, but I do hope some people may have found it useful if people were wondering about this particular issue. Hopefully it's not just been me stating the obvious. But if you have liked the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really liked the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.